How's it going, guys?
Good. How about you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for taking the time to do this interview. I've been wanting to talk to you guys for a while, and I'm glad we could finally work it out.
Yeah,
Thanks
for
too.
Thank you for giving us the opportunity.
Oh, not a problem. Alright, so for everyone that's going to be brand new to you guys, introduce yourselves.
We're a bunch of dickheads. We're Aurae. We play prog. That'll make your head spin, I guess. Anything better I think guys can think of?
Wait, should we say our names?
You want us to do it individually?
Oh, true.
We're Mythia and we suck.
Okay.
You guys,
We love Mythia.
we have any good, not shitty descriptors for our band?
I'm not
What's
sure.
it say on our Facebook page on the about?
I have no idea.
Who watches that?
Well, I guess that's kind of our answer.
Oh, that totally works.
Sarcastic asshole.
Alright, cool. So, from left to right, or clockwise, counterclockwise, however you guys are set up, introduce yourselves individually as well.
I told you. Okay. Hey, I'm Nico Haspopoulos. I'm the bass player.
I'm Taylor Schultz, I'm the keyboard player.
I'm James Kuno. I'm one of the guitar players. I'm Chris Wicki. I'm the other guitar player.
I'm Zach Hakes from Skelnick. I play drums.
I am Dallas Baldwin. I'm covering vocals.
Oh, awesome. I remember when I first got introduced to you guys when you opened up for The Contortionist, probably over a year ago now, when Language came out, and really being blown away with the style of music that you guys were playing, because it's not stuff that's really getting played around here in the Twin Cities, so it was really refreshing to hear that musicians are trying to recreate that style of music.
Yeah, we're not really, a lot of our influences come from modern prog, like Periphery and Valimaya, and bands that are considered what people call gent, I suppose, but we kind of want to move away from that sound, and I think we've been blessed by the prog gods and have been endowed with their influence.
Yeah, we have a ton of other just weird influences. I know James is really into tech death, and then I know Dallas really likes R&B, and Taylor's super into old 70s rock and garage rock and stuff, and so we have this super weird array of influences that when they come together we've managed to make something somewhat cohesive, it seems.
Yeah, and I definitely think you guys have done that even since the first release from you guys. I mean, that in itself was very varied and creative as well, and I imagine now that you guys are getting more comfortable with songwriting, it's just going to get more diverse from there.
Oh yeah, it's getting more interesting. We're definitely expanding the horizons of what we want to incorporate and how everything is going to tie together, and doesn't get any more simple from there. With the new material that we've been writing, it gets more proggy, and just trying to figure out how we can throw a twist in there to keep people on their toes during the listening experience.
How has that worked out in a live setting for you guys?
Oh man.
Personally, I believe that our live performances are getting better, and for instance, we just had a headlining show a couple weeks ago, and that was probably, in my opinion, one of the best shows we played, at least since I've been in the band, because I wasn't around for that Contortionist show, but ever since then, I feel like we've been playing better and better shows and just getting better and better as a unit. I feel like we're pretty solid right now.
And even though we play this sort of weird kind of spastic style of playing, I think we managed to find a way to sort of groove together, so even when we're throwing off ourselves in the audience, we can still keep them interested.
From those days of opening for The Contortionist to finally being able to do your first headlining show, what would you say is the biggest change that's happened with the band?
Hands down, I would say music. Yeah, definitely the music has changed a lot from Pass the Line to things that we are now playing live but are not released. For sound, we've since opening for The Contortionist, we have had lineup changes with the addition of keyboards to the band as well. But members and music's style and styles of writing has definitely changed. That's a very, very big change for people who have known us since The Contortionist show.
I'm glad to hear that too, because being able to write the music that you want to play and feeling very comfortable with that is very important in a band.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
with the newer music, I haven't had a chance to hear anything yet that hasn't been recorded. I unfortunately haven't been able to see you guys in a while. How would you be able to describe the newer music as compared to Paths Aligned?
Very uncohesive, discoordinated.
A lot of death metal influence.
It's a lot of, we've definitely, the newer stuff, especially for the upcoming EP that we'll be recording, this is definitely we tried our hand in the death metal aspect of our prog influences and tried to mix that well with that. So it's a lot of, I would say technical and fast riff playing, and the drumming has picked up in pace, and I'm doing more, not screams, but growling, and it's kind of different. It's gotten more heavier, I would say.
Yeah. But at the same time, we've been really expanding our melodic parts of the song, so they're a lot more intricate.
I feel like this album, this next EP, is a lot more varied in dynamics. I mean, we have like a very fast and intense, like 3-minute song, and it's just like it could have come straight out of like a Rivers of Nile album or something like that.
That's the shortest song we ever wrote too.
Yeah. We didn't want to have all like 18-minute songs. But we also have like a whole entire clean song that comes right after it, and it's just, I feel like we wanted to just kind of break up the flow a little more.
Well, then we ended with this 12-minute long monstrosity, which,
that's the prog beast in itself, though. There's a lot of twists and turns in that one, but
Yeah, I mean, I'd love hearing that description of the diversity already, because it really shows that you guys aren't afraid to play the music that you want to play and what you feel is appropriate for the band.
oh yeah, definitely. We definitely would not want record and play these songs if we weren't really into playing them. I personally feel that these new songs, I felt a lot more connected to them than the old stuff,
It's even funny because speaking of material we weren't comfortable releasing, this EP we're about to release was actually supposed to be an acoustic EP before, and it was supposed to have 2 songs from Paths Aligned with an acoustic rendition, and then a new song that we actually played at the Contortionist show, one with an electric rendition and one an acoustic, and we just thought that we kind of looked back on the song, we're like, this doesn't feel like something we want to put out, and we completely did a 180. Alright, let's just do a new EP, we'll just keep the same artwork, we'll rename it, it'll be fine.
It's amazing how that works. I mean, a great example of that is Periphery, where their first album is a milestone in Gent, but when you look at Periphery 3 and the upcoming tour that's going to be here on Monday, they're not even playing anything off the first album.
I think it's, I think that goes for a lot of artists. There's, of course, bands and solo artists have songs that are really staple for them, and they'll typically play live when it comes to certain shows and touring. But also, no one band stays the same. There's always a progression, whether it be backwards or forwards. And I like to think that we're going forward with this one. But your views on music change, and you look at yourself and you say, well, I mean, it's gonna feel a little weird to play these older songs when we're, writing what we're writing currently. It kind of just feels like we're a bit out of step.
AC/DC would like a word with you on never wanting to change your style.
Well, we have a bone to pick.
But no, I think that is very important to create the music that you want to create, because you don't want to get into the music business and potentially take off playing music that you don't want to play.
Yeah, that would not be good for us at all.
Yeah, I really don't want to be Radio Rock. That's true.
Yeah, I mean, that is an important thing. I mean, especially here in the Twin Cities, where it's kind of segregated when it comes to metal here for the most part. I mean, either it's the extremely brutal death metal, or it sounds like nu metal, or a couple other subgenres that's out there as well. But you guys are breaking away from those stereotypical genres from here and just creating the music you want to make.
Yeah, that's actually pretty accurate.
That's it. Yeah, we don't really put much foresight when we write these songs, and so when they come out, they're not really like anything we've really heard. which is very fortunate for us.
That's what drew me to you guys automatically when I saw you guys opening for the Contortionists, is because of course I'm familiar with progressive metal and those gent elements, but you guys did so much more than that live, and that's what I really appreciated.
Yep, yeah, no, I also am happy because I feel like the local scene is now embracing a lot more prog elements. Like we have our buds in Mythia are pretty proggy, and they're breaking ground. We also have this new band we had open for us for our headliner show called The Motion Mosaic. They put out an album that is just incredible.
Yeah,
and they kick ass. They sound like they pulled a couple pages from Dillinger or BT Bam and all those awesome bands that we look up to. So it's nice to have other bands that we can relate to and can play shows with in the scene.
It's always great. I mean, whether it's bands in the scene or just your own playing, being able to hear those new creative ideas is always inspiring.
Oh yeah, like I remember when I was first introducing Motion Mosaic to these guys, and they didn't have anything out, and we had no idea really what they would sound like. But then we saw them on stage, and they just blew us away. And it was just, I know Chris said something like,
I remember because I've heard a few of their songs before that show, and then I just remember seeing them on stage, and then all of a sudden I think they had an electronic intro, if I remember correctly, and then they just started, and it instantly was just wow, these guys are incredibly tight. Everything was super solid, and everything about them just kind of just set really well with me, and it's just a wonderful experience, and I'm kind of fangirling over them, but that's fine, I guess. Right?
It's great when you can find a band to fangirl over in the local scene.
Right?
Stalk them to all their shows, break into their tour bus.
Well, maybe only in our imaginations, but
Jump off in their water.
Was it coming this bottle already?
Well, in speaking of that, with the bands in the local scene, what would you say is the biggest thing you've learned from other bands in the scene?
Oh man, that's a good question.
I mean, I guess if we're thinking in terms of just playing together, when you interact with other bands, it's very important actually to know each other band. I mean, it's cool if you haven't really heard any other music, because it's more of an experience for you, and you get to learn of a new band and touch base with them on a more fresh level, because you just heard their music for the first time, and whether it's not really your cup of tea, or if it is, you have something to converse about. But supporting each other, and even in an individual show, it goes a long way. When you have the energy up from the first band to the headliner, the show feels so much more cohesive as a whole.
Yeah, showing support, I agree with that. Showing support to the other bands is huge, as well as just little things like stage presence and merch or whatever. But I think one of the hugest things is definitely showing support for everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, that's an important thing to show there, because you never want there to be a show where there's bad blood between the bands. I mean, you want everyone to be comfortable with each other and get along and be able to support each other like that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Bad blood has no place in a music scene.
Along with that, I mean, being from opening to the Contortionists to now being able to do your own headlining shows, what would you say are some of the biggest differences between opening for a show like that and being able to do your own headlining show?
There's quite a few.
I feel like we have more liberty to do what we want. We get to call the shots more.
Yeah, definitely. Also, just in the way, because with this headlining show, we ended up handling all the booking and sales and stuff, as opposed to before we'd go through a company and we'd kind of have to play with them. But in this way, we got to kind of have the whole thing set up for our band, which was pretty cool, which I think gives us the ability to just really bring out the best in us.
It works in our benefit as well to have, to kind of set up your own show, and without the factor of even headlining, being able to actually set it all up, because you get to, in a way, engineer kind of the ideal show. It gives you an opportunity to have everything flow into each other the way it should be, or the way it feels the best to have that live show go. So
yeah, I mean, that's always been a great feeling to be able to run your own show and put it out the way that you want to. As cool as it is to be able to open for touring bands, being able to say that you have a headlining show and people are coming out just for you guys is an amazing feeling.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Would you guys be focusing more on headlining shows in the future, or are you guys still looking for those support slots?
We're mainly going to focus in the future of expanding our audience to like out-of-state shows while playing like a few local shows. Like, for example, I'm going to be going to college in Chicago, so while staying in the band, so while I'm there, one of my big goals is to try to like get like situated in the scene there and try to find us some gigs like out there. For example, we're hit up like Iowa or North Dakota, just areas like that.
Yeah, and like even for our local shows, like I think the main reason we headlined the one that we did was kind of because we couldn't really find any bigger bands, and it turned out fortunately. I don't know if we're necessarily going to be focusing on making more headlining shows for ourselves, but definitely setting up more shows is going to be a huge goal for us. Yep.
What about as far as recording? Would I imagine that you guys would be recording sometime next year?
Actually, we've got a good majority of our new EP recorded already, and it'll probably be finished by the end of 2016.
Yep, we just have to record the other guitars, Chris, and then we have the daunting task of trying to figure out an orchestra to work with.
If that even works, well, spoilers.
we got a guest solo.
Oh yeah, we have a guest solo from someone very very close to me and a very big and influential band, probably my favorite band. So if anyone sees my Facebook feed, they probably know who it is. I'm not going to say who it is for those who don't know.
It's a surprise.
I made you a cock on a pillow. It was a surprise.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad to see you guys are that far along already with the next EP. I mean, with how everything sounded with the first EP, I can imagine that the second one is just going to be even bigger and better.
Yeah, that's definitely what we're shooting for. Like, the production's going to be way better, the playing is going to be way better, like, performance-wise, like, the composition's just going to be
instrumentation is so much more diverse with this one, too.
And not to mention, we're also very slowly upgrading our equipment, too. Like, James just got a new Kemper for his rig, and then I'm eventually going to wind up saving money for Helix. But, yeah, so that also is another key in that as well.
Yeah, overall, the quality of this EP is going to, I think, trump the first one.
Oh, yeah. And that might be in part due to the fact that we plan on having Jimmy King, who does all the Between the Bird and Me and Contortionist albums, all that kind of stuff. Scala, yeah, he's gonna be reamping, mixing and mastering it for us. So I'm looking forward to that a lot.
Yeah. I mean, kind of in total, it's going to be a very, 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 very good EP. I'm foreseeing and definitely looking forward to the reactions of people who've heard our older stuff, and we're going to be hearing the newer stuff just to see how everything plays out. So it's going to be a whole new beast.
Yeah, and I know that's definitely true for me. I mean, as much as I do love Pat's Line, I mean, I'm very curious to see how everything's going to sound in a recording sense for the next EP. And especially with having such a major name being able to reamp the guitars and make it sound even bigger and better, I just imagine it's going to blow people away.
Oh yeah, he's going to reamp it all through a didgeridoo. It's going to sound awesome.
We're hoping that it'll blow people away. It's definitely been very close to us, and we're excited to see how people will react to it.
What other plans do you have for next year?
Well, I could have had a V8, so I plan to have a V8.
Well, like,
So bad.
I mean, we're definitely we want to release the EP as soon as we can, probably around late 2016 or early 2017, whenever that works out. We definitely want to get situated so we can start maybe touring, perhaps in the summer, playing more out-of-state shows.
It's a big thing.
Yeah, because we can't last forever in our little caravan of sedans, going to Wisconsin. But yeah, and then just getting our name out there. Just I guess that's
a lot of outreach to surrounding states, and hopefully we can push our momentum and our weight a little bit further out of the local area as into cities, and get out of Minnesota and just get our name out there.
I was gonna say we also got a full-length album that we've been writing for a while. That we're maybe halfway through the writing process on that. So
that's super secret.
So it'll be something throughout the next year.
Not so secret. We've been playing a third of the album for a year now.
Year and a half at this point.
Yeah, that's definitely a huge plan for the future. We don't quite know how we're going to do with recording that yet. I mean, the dream, of course, we could go to a real studio, do it, but we'll have to see.
So yeah, those are definitely things to be figured out.
I'm glad to see that you guys are setting up an itinerary for what you guys want to achieve within the next year, and it definitely sounds like you guys are going about it in the right way.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, we're trying. We don't want to completely screw up.
Just a little bit.
Just a little hiccup here and there.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. So, what are you guys currently listening to?
Oh, well, quite a few things. I want to start. Let's just go around, maybe.
I mean, I've been listening to a lot of, like, more hardcore and, like, emo stuff. Like, I've been listening to a lot of American football, Knocked Loose. Like, honestly, not a ton of prog stuff right now. Of course, I, like, always really, like, listen to Fallujah and, like, Periphery and all, like, those things. And a little bit of hip-hop, too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I also, I guess, haven't been listening to a lot of prog lately. Just been sort of listening to older stuff that I've had for a while. Just going back to, like, Beatles, Velvet Underground, hip-hop stuff, too.
I've been jamming the new Aesop Rock album a lot. I've been enjoying that. That's, for a hip-hop album, that's pretty proggy, and that's probably why I'm attached to it. Like heavier music, I would say that definitely the new Fallujah album, because it's the best thing ever, and everything else can just eat a bunch of garbage.
Well, that's more hints about what James likes.
Yeah. So, that new Periphery, Zach and I had the chance to go actually to the Periphery Summer Jam Camp this year over in New York, and we got to hang out with everybody there and listen to the album and see them play like half of it live, and it's just fantastic. So I'm excited to see them on Monday. I don't know, I'm a big fan of Youth Forever, and they released Skeleton Youth Forever this year, and I listened to like their stuff a lot. I got pretty big into Traders this year. They're really good, like throwdowny, like down tempo. It's really fun. My biggest and favorite band, like influence-wise, is Reflections. I love them so much, and I will fangirl over them for the rest of my life, even though they're not going to be playing shows. Talking about them. Probably gonna cry at their last show, but like, you know. I also listen to like the emo stuff, and I've been listening to like Sorority Noise and Too Much Hotel Books, and like Pianos Become the Teeth and Turnover, which is really good. Just on the dance floor, you know. yeah, because definitely old school emo's the same as new school. You know.
Our new EP, our biggest influence, I would say, is Broken Side.
Oh boy. Yeah, I think I'm probably the one here who's actually was listening to the more prog stuff right now. Like, I recently went on a little Bandcamp shopping spree. I got like Alea, Chimp Spanner's newest thing. Like, I got Last Chance to Reason's second album.
You're just now getting that?
Yeah, I bought it yesterday.
I didn't know Chimp Spanner had new stuff.
It's from 2012.
Oh, okay.
And then I got like some Pliny and Uneven Structure, and just been hitting the prog lately. That's pretty much been it for me.
Yeah. I kind of been all over the place. I've been consistent in my prog with, definitely Periphery and, BT Bam. All is my favorites, Sky Harbor and Tesseract.
Ooh.
But I also been kind of on the other end of the spectrum with R&B. Been listening to a lot of soul as well, just the singing aspect of that, and just can't really go wrong with soul, honestly, in my personal opinion with that, as well as hip-hop and rap with Aesop Rock again, kind of following up on James. Really, really good stuff to kind of get my mind into a rhythmic thing. So it's just kind of everywhere, just a little bit of taste of everything. So
Bobby Johnson.
That's awesome, and again, it's just, I love seeing that diversity within the band, being able to go all the way from the Beatles to hip-hop to soul to modern prog. I mean, just all of those influences, whether they come through in the music or not, just inspiring you to listening to music and inspire you to keep such a great thing to see.
Yeah, it's would say that keeps us writing and keeps the ideas flowing. You know, just listening to different things, you kind of have a tendency to bring certain influences to the table for the band, and with so many different influences, you kind of get a special mixture, and you know, a very, very, very unique product out of that. So I think it works in our benefit.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree. I mean, whether someone listening to this is discovering you for the first time or they've been a fan since the first time they saw you, I think that you guys definitely bring something new, original, and very catchy to the table, and I think the bigger that you guys get, the more of an impact you guys are going to have, and you're just going to get bigger and better from here.
Well, thank you. That's very
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, we definitely like to think that we'll have some sort of impact, you know, but who knows?
It's because we're all incredibly conceited and we're just the biggest narcissists you know.
We're gonna sell out.
We're all just in it for the money.
What money there is.
Well, but for real, yeah, that's very nice to say. And,
We're only into prog metal for the money, the money.
yeah, the money and the women, right?
Yeah, all the hairy dudes.
I was in it for the men.
When are we releasing a single with Getter?
Oh, man.
Well, thank you guys once again for taking the time to do this interview. I'm very glad that we were able to work out our schedules to finally be able to promote you guys in the right light, and hopefully with my influence being able to help expand your fan base just a little bit more and get you guys to that next step where you want to be. Before we're done here, is there anything else you'd like to mention that I haven't brought up yet?
Pushed at 9/11.
Dude, like, I don't get why everybody rips on that grunge band. Like, what did they do?
Wait, what?
Like, what did the band Bush do to 9/11?
It's all in a code in that song Glycerin.
Oh my god!
The lyrics are code to explain how they did 9/11.
Please go.
Do we have anything else? Does anyone have anything else?
Free Bobby Shmurda.
Well, we're Aurae. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's
really
pretty awesome.
Even though 50% of this interview was me interviewing people talking about stupid stuff.
Whatever, dude.
That's 50% of everything we do.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, right in the middle of a live act, I'll just be like, Get out of here.
Bless Harvey.
No.
Dicks out.
We're done.
Dicks out.
That's what we're.
Alright, yeah. That's about it.
I guess that's it for us.